What happens when the deadliest lizard on land faces the ultimate river predator? In one corner, the Komodo dragon, a venomous monster that can take down prey 10 times its size with just one bite. Its saliva, a toxic cocktail that melts flesh and ends lives in minutes. In the other, the crocodile, a living tank with armor-plated skin and jaws that crush with over 3,000 pounds of force. It's outlived dinosaurs. It's perfected the art of the ambush. When land meets water, when venom meets bone-crushing power, who walks away from this prehistoric showdown? Get ready, because this isn't just a fight. It's survival. The battle begins. Evolution and history. How did life carve its timeless journey through existence? To understand the Komodo dragon and the saltwater crocodile is to open a living history book, one written in DNA and fossilized bone. Their story begins not in isolation, but in a world of giants. The Komodo dragon's ancestry is traced back to the veranid lizards that emerged in Asia around 100 million years ago. Its lineage is a spectacular one, believed by some paleontologists to be a relic of a much larger species, Varanus priscus, formerly Megalania prisca, a true behemoth that stalked Pleistocene Australia, stretching over 20 feet and weighing up to 300 pounds. The Komodo dragon is its diminutive, yet no less formidable descendant, isolated on a handful of Indonesian islands for millions of years. This isolation became its crucible, with no large mammalian predators to challenge it. It evolved to fill the apex predator niche, growing to a size unmatched by any other lizard. It is a classic example of insular gigantism, where a species grows larger on islands due to reduced competition and predation. The crocodile's pedigree is even more profound and uninterrupted. The ancestors of Crocodile first appeared in the Cretaceous period, over 100 million years ago, sharing the planet with Tyrannosaurus rex. While dinosaurs vanished, crocodilians persevered. They are not dinosaurs. They are the last surviving archosaurs, the ruling reptiles, a lineage that also gave rise to the dinosaurs and, eventually, birds. The saltwater crocodile is the culmination of this ancient and successful body plan. Its form has remained remarkably consistent for tens of millions of years because it is, in essence, perfect for its ecological role. It is the largest of all living reptiles, a direct link to a prehistoric world, and its evolutionary journey has been one of refinement rather than radical change. While the Komodo dragon adapted to a specific island-based terrestrial niche, the saltwater crocodile perfected the art of the ambush predator across a vast range. From the coasts of India to northern Australia, civilizations have documented both creatures with a mixture of awe and terror. The Komodo dragon, isolated on its islands, entered local folklore as the aura, a fearsome land dragon. It wasn't scientifically described by the Western world until 1910, and its existence read like something from a fantasy novel. The saltwater crocodile, by contrast, has been a known and feared entity for centuries across Southeast Asia and Australia. It features prominently in indigenous Australian Dreamtime stories, often as a powerful and dangerous creator being. Its image is carved into ancient temple walls, a testament to the deep and fearful respect it has commanded throughout human history. The crocodile we see today is virtually identical to the one that haunted the waterways of the ancient world, a true living fossil that has outlasted ice ages, continental shifts, and the rise and fall of empires. Biological perfection, what makes survival the ultimate design of nature. The Komodo dragon is a marvel of macabre engineering. Its strength is not in sheer bulk, but in a combination of power, weaponry, and a unique biological warfare. Its muscles are lean and powerful, attached to a flexible skeleton that allows for surprising bursts of speed up to 12 miles per hour in short charges. Its primary weapons are its teeth, 60 serrated, shark-like blades, each up to an inch long. Unlike a crocodile's conical teeth, the dragons are designed for slicing and tearing. It does not hold and drown. It slashes and disembowels, creating massive, bleeding wounds. But this is only the initial assault. The dragon's bite delivers a complex cocktail of anticoagulants and venom proteins secreted from glands between its teeth. This venom prevents blood clotting, plunging the victim into a state of shock and inducing a dramatic drop in blood pressure. A bitten animal, even if it escapes, will typically succumb to blood loss and infection within hours, the dragon patiently following its scent until it collapses. Its senses are tailored for the hunt. Its flickering tongue is part of the Vomerana system, a chemical analyzer far more sophisticated than any human-made sensor. It can detect a dying animal from miles away. Its hearing is average, but its vision is sharp, capable of discerning movement at significant distances. The saltwater crocodile is the embodiment of aquatic ambush power. Its biology is a lesson in explosive force and durability. Its most famous attribute is its bite force, one of the most powerful ever measured in the animal kingdom, exerting over 3,700 pounds per square inch psi. This is not a slicing bite, it is a crushing, bone-shattering vice. The teeth are conical and robust, designed for gripping and holding, not cutting. To compensate, the crocodile employs a death roll. Once it has a firm grip on a limb or a body, it uses its immense tail muscles to spin its entire body, violently twisting and tearing off chunks of flesh or dragging its prey into deep water to drown. Its defenses are legendary. The osteoderms across its back and tail are a natural armor plating, nearly impervious to the bites of other large animals. It is a master of stealth, with eyes, ears, and nostrils positioned on top of its head, allowing it to see, hear, and breathe while almost completely submerged. Its metabolism is slow, enabling it to survive on a single large meal for months, and it can control its heart rate to remain submerged for over an hour. It is a patient, calculating killer, built not for a prolonged chase, but for a single, decisive, and catastrophic strike. The social code. Why do behaviors shape the rise and fall of civilizations? These are not mindless brutes. Their behaviors are complex, honed by survival in harsh environments. The Komodo dragon is largely a solitary creature. Adults are cannibalistic and will readily prey on younger, smaller dragons. As a result, the young have adapted remarkable arboreal skills, living in trees for their first few years to avoid becoming a meal for their elders. Their communication is primarily chemical, through pheromones and scent markers, analyzed by the tongue. They are, however, capable of limited social interaction, particularly around a large carcass, where a loose hierarchy based on size generally prevents all-out war. The largest males eat first. Mating is a violent affair, with males engaging in ritualized combat, standing on their hind legs and wrestling in a show of strength called upright wrestling. The winner earns the right to mate. Females then lay clutches of eggs in burrows, which they guard ferociously for several months. Once the eggs hatch, however, the young are entirely on their own, scrambling for the trees to begin their perilous lives. The saltwater crocodile exhibits a more complex and surprising social life, while also territorial and solitary hunters. They have a sophisticated vocal repertoire, including barks, growls, and hisses used to communicate threat, territory, and during mating. They are known for prolonged maternal care, a rarity among reptiles. A female will construct a mound nest for her eggs and guard it with relentless ferocity. For the entire 90-day incubation period, when the hatchlings call from inside their eggs, she will gently help them out, then carry them in her prodigious jaws down to the water. She will continue to protect her young for up to 2 years, teaching them to hunt and defending them from predators, including male crocodiles. This level of parental investment speaks to a higher cognitive function than often attributed to them. The global landscape. Where it stands today, the contemporary story of these two giants is a tale of two different conservation realities. The Komodo dragon is a specialist with a tiny range. It is found only on 5 Indonesian islands: Komodo, Hinca, Flores, Gili, and Padar. Its total wild population is estimated at just 1,400 mature individuals, and it is classified as endangered on the IUCN Red List. Its primary threats are habitat loss, a decline in its prey species like deer due to poaching, and the escalating impacts of climate change. Rising sea levels threaten to shrink its already limited coastal habitat by up to 30% over the next 45 years. Conservation efforts are centered in Komodo National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which provides robust protection through anti-poaching patrols and tourism management. Ecotourism is a double-edged sword. It provides vital revenue but must be carefully managed to prevent disturbance. The saltwater crocodile presents a dramatic conservation success story. Its range is vast, spanning from the eastern coast of India across Southeast Asia to northern Australia and the islands of the South Pacific. It was hunted to the brink of extinction for its prized hide throughout the mid-20th century. However, strict legal protection, most notably in Australia since 1971, has allowed its populations to rebound spectacularly. In northern Australia, its numbers are now robust and stable, to the point where it is considered a species of least concern globally. However, this status is not uniform. In parts of Southeast Asia, like Vietnam and Cambodia, it remains critically endangered due to habitat destruction and illegal hunting. The saltwater crocodile story proves that, with stringent laws and habitat protection, even the most persecuted species can recover. But it also highlights the uneven application of conservation efforts across its range. Death and decline. Is every legacy destined to vanish into silence? For the Komodo dragon, the path to death is often paved by its own kind. Juvenile mortality is exceptionally high, with an estimated 90% of young dragons falling prey to predators, including adults. For those that survive to adulthood, the primary causes of death are starvation in old age, injury from combat with rivals or prey, and surprisingly, human activity. Despite protection, poaching of their prey and habitat encroachment for agriculture and settlement are persistent threats. A single natural disaster, like a volcanic eruption on its limited island home, could decimate a significant portion of the global population. If the Komodo dragon were to vanish, it would create a trophic cascade. As the apex predator, it controls the populations of herbivores like deer and wild boar. Their unchecked grazing would alter the vegetation structure of the islands, impacting countless other species and fundamentally destabilizing the entire ecosystem. The loss would be more than ecological. It would be the extinction of an entire evolutionary lineage, the last of the giant varanids. The saltwater crocodile, despite its recovery, faces different mortal threats. In Australia, where they are protected, the biggest cause of death for adult crocodiles is management culling, the removal of problem animals that venture into human-populated areas. Elsewhere, the illegal skin trade remains a lucrative business, with a single high-quality hide fetching thousands of dollars on the black market. They are also victims of habitat fragmentation from coastal development and drowning in fishing nets. As apex predators, their health is a barometer for the entire ecosystem. Their decline in a region signals a collapse in the aquatic food web. However, their resilience suggests it is not too late for them in most areas. For the Komodo dragon, the clock is ticking much faster. Humans can save it, but it will require a global commitment to habitat preservation and climate change mitigation that extends far beyond the borders of Indonesia. The business of survival. What is the real cost of existence? In the marketplace of life, the value of these animals, dead or alive, is a stark reflection of human desire. The saltwater crocodile is at the center of a multi-million-dollar legal industry. Ranching programs, particularly in Australia and Southeast Asia, legally harvest eggs from the wild and raise crocodiles in farms for their skins. This industry provides an economic incentive for local communities to conserve wetland habitats and has been instrumental in the species' recovery. The finest belly skins are turned into exclusive luxury goods handbags, watch bands, and shoes that can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. Ecotourism is another massive revenue generator. People flock to places like Australia's Northern Territory for the chance to see these prehistoric leviathans in the wild, supporting local economies and reinforcing their protected status. The Komodo dragon exists in a different economic sphere. There's no legal trade in its skin or body parts. It is fully protected by Indonesian law and CITES, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. Its primary economic value is in ecotourism. Komodo National Park generates significant revenue from entry fees and tour operations, making the living dragon far more valuable to the local economy than a dead one could ever be. However, this creates pressure. And the Indonesian government has controversially floated ideas like VIP tourism with exorbitant entry fees, raising concerns about commodifying a World Heritage Site. The illegal pet trade and black market for its unique parts pose a constant, though smaller, threat compared to the systemic dangers of habitat loss. The dust settles, the water still ripples. Both beasts stand, scarred, bleeding, unbroken. The Komodo's venom burns through the air. The crocodile's jaws clamp down with prehistoric fury. Each strike could be the last, yet neither gives him. Not to pain. Not to fear. Not to that. Two titans from different worlds. Land and water locked in a battle written in the bones of time. But, tell me, when venom meets armor, when cunning meets raw power, who truly deserves the crown of apex predator? You decide. Drop your verdict in the comments. Smash that like button if your heart is still racing, and subscribe for more battles that rewrite the laws of nature. Because this war is far from over.